Hey everyone, my name is Bridget and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm actually just going to be bringing you guys along with me on a sort of vlog because I thought it would be a fun idea to go to our family farm and gather some natural reptile supplies. Now what I mean by this is just going into the woods that we have and just gathering things like branches and rocks and stones and things that I can put in my reptile enclosures. It's so much fun and so interesting to set up enclosures, and a lot of the time when you buy natural elements like this online or in stores, it can be really expensive, and so I have found that the easiest way to provide affordable, beautiful, natural enrichment for my reptiles is to literally just grab things from nature and use whatever I have around me. Now, of course, I always make sure that everything that I pick up is safe for my animals, and I can't tell you the things that are in your area that are going to be safe, so I do suggest that you do your own research, but I also suggest that you just go outside, figure out different things that you could grab that you can clean and sanitize in order to use in your enclosures. I'm all for a good resin hide and a glass bowl and some fake plants. I'm not saying that you can't use things that aren't natural in your enclosures, but it does spruce things up and make things more fun and interesting, especially for the animal when they have more natural elements in there as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna take you guys along with me to our family farm, show you us gathering a few things. At the end of this video, I'm gonna give you some examples of some of the things that we grabbed and tell you guys how you can clean them and use them in your enclosures. So as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Alright guys, now that you have seen the vlog of us going to the family farm and gathering some supplies, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of the things that we grabbed. Now when it comes to the wood and branches that you use in your enclosures, get to know the woods and trees that are around you so that you can be able to identify what type of wood that you might be picking up. But I can leave a couple of lists in the description box below of some safe and unsafe woods that you can use. For me, here in Texas, we do have several trees and branches that we can use in the enclosures, but one of my most favorite ones to use is actually mesquite wood. I don't take the wood from the tree, I take wood that has already been dropped to the ground. So as you saw as we were walking around, there were several branches on the ground that had already been fallen or broken off, and I just grab a few pieces like that that look really interesting to me. And we picked up a lot of mesquite wood in this video, but I do only have one example to show you. It's got really cool features up here on the top, and when setting this in the enclosure, I mean, you can set it so many different ways to be able to provide a lot of climbing and enrichment for whatever animal you are putting it in the enclosure for. Now, one thing that I do want to tell you guys is that when you do take wood from outside, there are going to be little organisms living in them, you know, bugs and things. There's also going to be microorganisms all over them, and they could have bacteria and stuff on them as well. So what I recommend that you guys do is bake your wood in the oven. I wash these guys and I scrub them. I don't use any soap, but I use really scalding hot water, scrub them down, and then I bake them in the oven at around 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour. And I just check on it momentarily to make sure that nothing has sparked, no fires have started or anything. Check on it about every 10 minutes or so, and that has worked out really well for me. And like, these pieces are really cool. Now when it comes to rocks and stones that you can gather, really anything is safe as long as it isn't too porous, because porous things do hold on to like liquids and bacteria and things, and it's hard to clean in the little pores. And then I also recommend just nothing that's too sharp. A lot of the times when you find rocks outside, they'll have really sharp points on them, and that can really hurt your animals. So if you're not able to easily and efficiently file those sharp edges down, I just recommend that you don't pick rocks up that have sharp edges. So I have a couple of examples of the rocks that I got that I want to show you, and this first one is actually not a rock. It is a piece of petrified wood. We see these all over the place, and this is just essentially a piece of wood that fell down at one point or another. Just over the years, it turned into this big, solid, rocky mass. It still has like really cool textures on here, and just the different shapes that it has going on. It's really nice and heavy, so that if you do put it in an enclosure, it'll stay put and won't move around a lot. I don't recommend putting things like this up high, obviously, because you don't want it to fall down and crush your animal. It gives a lot of really good texture and enrichment, and it was free. Another example that I got, this kind of looks like a piece of wood, but this is a rock, and it looks like this. And what I liked about this is that it has this flat bottom, so it sits really nicely somewhere like this, and it just kind of looks like a little like mountain almost. I think it is super cool. The colors on there are really nice, and it can provide like a really nice cool climbing element for something like a terrestrial gecko or something. If you do sit it on the ground and they're smaller, they can crawl up here and sit, and I just think this is really neat. And then the last example that I have is really cool as well, and it looks like this. This one just spoke to me immediately. As soon as I saw it, I said, oh my gosh, I need this one, because look at these stripes. This is so unique and awesome. It also, I mean, it looks like a little chair. I just love the fact that you can go outside and you can pick things like this up in nature, totally free, that you can use for your animals. And when it comes to cleaning and sanitizing rocks like this, I recommend the same thing, scalding hot water, scrub them down with a scrub brush to get all of the loose bits off, make sure there are no sharp edges. And some people do boil their rocks. This is is kind of iffy because a lot of people will say like that's completely unsafe, you should never do that. But what can happen is these rocks can actually get overheated and crack. And a lot of them can just like burst. It's not an explosion, but they can crack and burst, and that can be a little dangerous. So I am not going to recommend boiling. We have boiled rocks in the past outside. We don't do it inside of our home. Everybody has opinions on it, and so I just suggest that you do your own research, figure out what you want to do. But I personally don't recommend that you bake the rocks because again, they can overheat and burst and things like that. So just bake the wood and either soak the rocks or boil them if you are comfortable with that. I'm not gonna tell you how because I don't want any conflict or anything, and I don't want to influence you guys to do so. So if you feel like boiling the rocks is something you want to do, just do your own research. But yeah, that is really it for my video today. Just decided to go and get some natural elements. We always like to keep things like this around so that when we do set up enclosures, we have a lot of really cool, interesting things to add in there for enrichment. I highly recommend that you guys research the stuff in your area. Go outside in the woods if you can and start gathering things. Make sure that you are gathering things legally, you know, don't trespass on someone else's property. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button on your way out. I really appreciate it. Also hit the notification bell so you can know when I upload next, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!